tonight on Elon Local News.
Pinpointing the opioid epidemic, a heartbroken mother's plea to make sure her pain isn't felt again.
Shattering the glass ceiling, how the newest cohort stands out from the rest.
And making history, the women's soccer team is headed to the playoffs.
Those stories and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Maeve Ashbrook.
And I'm Brian Ray.
After 2 weeks without any new mumps cases, Vice President of Student Life John Dooley confirmed the 7th case of mumps on campus today in an email. The MMR vaccine will be offered again for free tomorrow afternoon in South Gym from 12:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Today, historically Jewish fraternity Zeta Beta Tau is hosting a Day Against Hate. This event comes after the recent shooting at the Chabad Center on Yom Kippur. Our Cami Brady is live outside McKinnon to tell us what to expect from the event. Cami?
I am here live outside of McKinnon Hall awaiting for a Day Against Hate. A Day Against Hate is being put on by Hillel, IDEA, and the fraternity Zeta Beta Tau. The Day Against Hate is commemorating the 1-year anniversary of the deadly shooting in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at the Tree of Life Synagogue. This horrific hate crime left 11 attendees dead. This event is being held to showcase the hate crimes and to showcase the hate crimes and to make people aware not to do them anymore. There will be 2 speakers, T.M. Garrett and Hussein Akbar, to share their personal experiences with hate crimes. The overall event is here to make students aware of different people's cultures and backgrounds and to accept them. Again, the event is from 7:30 to 9:30 tonight in McKinnon Hall at the Mosley Center. I am Cami Brady, Elon Local News.
Thanks, Cami.
The Local Matters speaker series continues this week. It focuses on substance abuse in Alamance County. It's because according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 75 painkillers are prescribed per person in the county. So in our first installment of our new 3-part series, our Liam Collins finds out what Alamance County is doing to pinpoint the opioid epidemic.
91%, that's how many overdose deaths so far this year have been from opioids. That's up from 61% over the last 2 years. Among the opioids commonly used includes fentanyl, a drug 80 to 100 times stronger than prescription strength opioids that's often made illegally. But this isn't just about numbers here. Among those deaths includes Jessica Jordan. She died on May 12, 2018, her brother's birthday. It's a day her mother says she can remember every detail of. Framed moments of the life of Jessica Jordan, now only memories to her mother, Robin.
She was full of life, full of energy.
Jessica died last year to a drug overdose. She was 32.
They said Jessica's dead. And then I was on the floor.
A toxicology report found cocaine and fentanyl, a form of synthetic heroin. Jordan says she was aware of her daughter using hard drugs since she was a freshman in college, but that her problems stemmed from issues much deeper than a substance disorder.
She had been raped on campus. We started taking her to counseling. She disclosed that she had been sexually molested by a family friend when she was 5 years old, and she had carried that secret with her.
That secret, Jordan says, led her to a life of secrets, to the point where she begged someone to arrest her daughter.
Magistrates would say, if she's not suicidal or homicidal, there's nothing we can do. And I know that is true. I don't question that. But it put her in a really bad place.
A bad place for over 80 fatal and non-fatal overdoses in the county so far this year, almost half of which were opioid related. At the Alamance County Sheriff's Office, Sergeant Chris Crane is working to map out the problem.
But what they don't see is the person who's profiting from bringing the drugs in that may live in your community, may be a legitimate business owner.
The department started using a system called OD mapping earlier this year. It's a computer software that lets any reporting agency track overdoses in their jurisdictions. Crane says information from OD mapping has led police to areas like these, cheap hotels close to the highway for easy access, but he says it's not necessarily to catch the users, but to catch the dealers.
The ones that are profiting from it. from other people's misery.
Misery like what's been living inside Robin Jordan.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't relive decisions I made, question myself, wished I'd done it differently. You do the best you can do at any given time, and you just have to trust that you made the best decision you could with what you had.
Jessica would be 33 today, but that's not all we can tell you about her. Her story continues throughout our series. Next week, I sit down with District Attorney Sean Boone. We discuss rehabilitation and incarceration. Here's a sneak peek.
Whether or not they have the resources to go and get something better than what the state can offer, we can't really control that, but we want to make sure we have equal access to the opportunities, and we don't say, well, I don't think you'll make it, kid. Let's just go ahead and sign you up for a jumpsuit for the rest of your life.
And you can see that interview right here next Monday at 6 p.m. Brian?
Thanks, Liam. Moving to some news from the West Coast, there are currently 15 wildfires burning in California, the largest of which in Sonoma County.
This fire, named the Kincaid Fire, covers 66,000 acres, and as of 7:45 this morning was only 5% contained.
The Getty Fire is the most recent fire which broke out this morning. It's currently burning over 500 acres and threatening homes near Los Angeles. According to Elon's most recent registrar's report, there are currently 156 students at Elon from California.
Today, 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden is in Florida, fundraising for his campaign after reporting less than $9 million on hand. That's significantly less than the nearly $25 million Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders has. But yesterday evening here in the Tar Heel state, the former vice president expresses concern over President Trump's divisive language. Biden said this election will be about battling for America's values, since the president has diminished them.
This election is different than any you participated in, no matter how old or young you are. It isn't just policies or agendas that are at stake. It's the soul of this country, the character of our people.
Speaking just down the road from North Carolina Central University, a historically black school, Biden supporter and Duke University student Adriana Williams says she appreciates Biden's plan to provide additional funding to HBCUs.
As someone who has parents and has family that's attended an HBCU, I do see the value in HBCUs, and I believe that they should be funded far more than they are now, and so I appreciate that he is hoping to do just that.
Barack Obama and Joe Biden won the state in 2008, and Biden says he's looking to do the same if he receives the 2020 Democratic nomination.
And in a statement issued this afternoon, Biden, among others, say they are mourning the loss of former U.S. Senator Kay Hagan. The Greensboro native was the first female Democratic senator to represent the state of North Carolina. She served for one term before losing her seat to Senator Tom Tillis. Hagan's family did not provide a cause of death, but in 2016, Hagan was admitted to the hospital for encephalitis or brain inflammation. Kay Hagan was 66 years old.
Homecoming is this weekend, but things will look different for winners crowned homecoming royalty. The two winners will no longer get money from SGA for the philanthropy they run on. According to Student Body Secretary Julia Field, this change was made in the updated Treasurer's Manual, written by former Treasurer Max Pavanka last semester. In the manual, donations to philanthropies are now considered non-fundable by SGA. Field says this change holds SGA to the same standards as other organizations on campus.
Traditionally, other student organizations could not directly donate to philanthropies from their student activity fees received from SGA. And with the changes in the Treasurer's Manual, we really tried to even the playing field in terms of SGA is a student organization, just like any other organization on campus, and we need to abide by the same guidelines.
Last year, ENN reported that winners Hope Kuna and Trey McMichael each won $100 for their chosen philanthropy. Field says people running can fundraise in other ways, like on social media. If you have any questions about the new funding process in the Treasurer's Manual, Field says to attend the upcoming town hall on November 7th at 7:30 p.m. in the Mosley Center. And voting begins tomorrow for homecoming royalty. This year there are 10 students on homecoming court running for the crown.
Voting opens at 10:30 a.m. and closes Thursday at 5 p.m. and you can cast your vote on Phoenix Connect.
This year's class of Periclean scholars isn't like the others. Their story up next.
tuned to see if this fall weather is here to stay.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Today is National First Responders Day, a day that honors firefighters, police officers, and EMTs. Our own Alamance County first responders took part in an active shooter training at Alamance Community College. The training involved a scenario where 3 men posing as shooters entered and attacked the campus. The police used pellet guns and the shooters fired blanks to make it as real as possible. The drill also included volunteers playing victims with makeup and fake blood to simulate bullet wounds. Officer Garner of Elon Campus Police says that trainings like these feel real.
Even with knowing it's a scenario, when you hear the shots going off and when you hear the chaos over the radio, it increases your adrenaline levels to want to stop that threat as fast as possible.
Officer Garner says that there are a few things students can do to keep themselves safe if there's ever an active shooter at Elon.
Hopefully it'll never happen on our campus. If it does happen on campus, make sure you show us your hands and identify yourself as students and follow directions as fast as possible so we can get you to a safe spot.
Garner hopes that the next active shooter training can be held at Elon. For an in-depth look at this story, check out our website, elonnewsnetwork.com. Well, Maeve, we're inching toward November, slowly but quickly, but I am still holding on for dear life to the summer weather.
Well, I know you love it. I walked out today. I was a little bit disturbed. I wore a tank top and everything. No need for a sweater, but I'll take it. Rather this than the cold weather, I have to say.
Who knows? I think Gayatri has some maybe bad news for us, but she is out on Citroen Plaza with the Phoenix 5-day forecast. Gayatri, what can you tell us?
Hello, Brian and Maeve. As we can see, this fall weather is going to come in hot. On Tuesday, we have weather with partly cloudy chance and a chance of rain with a high of 72 and a low of 58. On Wednesday, we do have a definite chance of rain with a high of 70 and a low of 63. Thursday will also show rain with a high of 80 and a low of 52. Friday, the sun will come out, but it will still be partly cloudy with a high of 63 and a low of 39. And on Saturday, it will also be partly cloudy with a high of 61 and a low of 38. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Gayatri. The Periclean Scholars Program is a 3-year experience offered by Elon for a cohort of selected students. Each cohort works with a foreign country of choice on a long-term service project. Students can apply their freshman year for the program. In the newest cohort, the class of 2022 looks a bit different from other years. The Elon Periclean Scholars class of 2022 is all women.
I was kind of nervous about having lack of diversity with gender and that it would kind of close off perspectives, but I really realized that that's not the case, and it's pretty cool to have an all-female cohort.
Elon sophomores Anya Kokowicz and Audrey Sears are both Periclean scholars. Sears says she was shocked to find out her cohort was all female, but says the cohort is diverse in other ways.
We have a lot of public health policy. We also have communications, English, Spanish, and different language double majors.
The Periclean scholars take one class together every semester, starting their sophomore year. The course they are taking right now is taught by their faculty mentor, Elon professor Amanda Tapler. Tapler says historically the program has been majority female. In the class of 2021 cohort, there are only 2 males.
I do think that some of that's sort of by the nature of timing, and first year women may be in a place to be able to apply and think about a 3-year cohorted experience.
As faculty mentor, Tapler will lead the cohort to Ghana. Kokowicz says the cohort is currently reaching out to small local groups and nonprofit organizations in the African country to start their project. Now, those helping the 2022 cohort aren't all female.
We do have the help of a TA this year who's a male from another year, and so it's nice to have his input and everything.
But for now, Sears and Kokowicz say the group is enjoying lunch and coffee dates as they prepare to make many trips to Ghana together. If you're a freshman and interested applying to be a Periclean scholar, the application is currently open for the 2023 cohort and closes in early March.
Good evening, Brian and Maeve. This week in the Pendulum, some of our top stories are vaccination exemptions regarding the recent mumps outbreak on campus, the upcoming Board of
Its spot in the CAA tournament. After the break, we'll talk more about their historic moment.
We have some breaking news tonight. Faculty and staff received an email informing the community on the death of George Troxler. He was an Elon University historian and professor emeritus of history. He was a member of the Elon community for over 4 decades. In 2010, Troxler was awarded the Elon Medallion for his service to the institution. This Friday, there will be a service for George at the Elon Community Church beginning at 3 p.m.
Our Caitlin Rundle is here in studio with us to give us the latest with Phoenix sports. Caitlin?
Starting off with football, the Phoenix come back home off of a win against Rhode Island University 38-13. The Phoenix will welcome William & Mary University for this year's homecoming. This will be the 4th time the Phoenix face the Tribe, the teams each holding 2 wins against the other. The Phoenix currently sit dead in the middle of the CAA table at number 6. Kickoff will be at 2 p.m. at Roat Stadium. Cross country will be in its CAA championships on November 2nd in New Market, Virginia. Scholastica Kemi broke her school record for the women's 6K, coming in at 20 minutes and 25 seconds. And to put that in perspective, that's a 5-minute, 28-second mile pace that Kemi kept at the ECU Pirates Invitational. If the Phoenix win, this will be its first ever cross country CAA championship. And women's soccer is currently ranked 5th in the CAA tournament. This is the first time that women's soccer has appeared in this tournament in their 5-year conference history.
For the first time in history, the Elon women's soccer team is playoff bound. The team improved from 3 wins, 10 losses, and 4 ties last year to a record of 11-5-2. This mark was the most wins for the team in their 5-year conference history. For head coach Neil Payne, this accomplishment was well deserved.
So we just kind of broke this season up into pieces, and the program has never made the conference playoffs. So to achieve that, this group of players needs applauding for that.
While it's a big deal for Payne in only his 2nd year, it means the world to seniors like Brianna Mitchell and Taylor Paradowski, who have been working for this for 4 long years.
I think it's awesome, just the amount of not individual, but like team records that we've beaten over this whole season. It's just exciting, especially for Bree and I as seniors, taking that on with us as we leave is kind of leaving a little footprint.
Besides changing the record books, the leaders feel like they are changing the minds of the competition as well.
Teams aren't going to say, oh, we're playing Elon, okay, that's going to be a win. I think now when we go into conference play, teams are going to be kind of scared and ready for us. Yeah.
On Friday, the Phoenix take on the Northeastern Huskies in a rematch in the first round of the CAA playoffs. It was the Huskies that handed the Phoenix their first home loss in 8 games to the tune of 4-0.
We've got to not be just okay with that. We've got to get excited this week, first time in the playoffs, and we're going to have a good response.
Alex Reynolds, Elon Local News.
Elon will face Northeastern University in the first round of the tournament on November 1st at 1 p.m. The tournament is winner-go-home style, so if the Phoenix win, it will move on to play the number 1 seeded host, Hofstra University. If it loses, the Phoenix will end its historic season.
Thanks, Caitlin. And for more information on the women's soccer team, pick up a copy of this week's Pendulum. And speaking of the Pendulum, we have our Matt Reichenbach live in the newsroom with a preview for us. Matt?
Good evening, Brian and Ray. Some of our top stories this week: vaccination exemptions for the recent mumps outbreak on campus, the upcoming Board of Aldermen vote on November 5th, and this week marks opening night for Elon's production of Damn Yankees, this Thursday, October 31st from 7 to 9 p.m. Make sure to grab a copy of the Pendulum this week on Wednesday, and from all of us at the Pendulum, happy homecoming and happy Halloween.
Thanks, Matt. Coming up, trick-or-treating and a haunted house, how Elon is getting ready for Halloween.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Halloween's coming up Thursday, and our Lauren Singles found one residence hall getting into the spooky spirit.
We're in the Colonnades neighborhood. We're at Harper Hall, about to go into the haunted house that they have here. Let's go check it out. Oh my
God. Beware, for I see danger in your future. Be brave, so you don't get injured.
Oh fuck. Go, 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 come on, come on. We just got on a haunted Harper. It was an awesome experience. Lots of good scares, lots of screams. So if you missed it this year, make sure you check it out next year, and you can read all about it on our website at elonnewsnetwork.com.
I don't know, Maeve, that was a little spooky for me.
That's what I love. I love scary movies, love haunted houses. Haven't been in a while, but
I haven't been to a haunted house in a while either. But you know, sometimes I do get a little scared on Halloween. When I was little, like I told you before the show, I sat under the table for a whole trick-or-treating one year.
And what were you dressed up as?
SpongeBob.
Why don't you tell
Make it better.
SpongeBob. Were you dressing up for Halloween this year?
Not sure. I'm usually a lifeguard because, you know, I do that in the summer, so easy costume for me. What about you, Maeve?
That's why I won't be here.
Right.
I'll be in DC, but I actually haven't celebrated Halloween since middle school.
That's
so
a shame.
I'm not that torn up about it.
Well, you can still have the candy when you come back.
Yes,
I'll save some for you.
Save some for me, and we can eat it right here at the desk.
Yes. Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For all the news you need to know, we are not on the air. Visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, and follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
Have a great night, Elon.